What is up, y'all? Thanks for coming back for another video. So it is Friday, September 20th. It's getting into mid-September, so for the rest of you lawn guys in the cool season, you know what time it is. It's time for our fall ritual. Now for you warm season guys that don't get to participate in this, basically what we do is we aerate, we overseed, and in some cases, if we haven't done it in a while, we run a dethatcher, which is what I'm going to have to do today. So I was going through parts of my yard last night, had some nasty brown areas where there's just a bunch of dead grass. I went to start taking a dethatch rake to it, and I started tumbling down the rabbit hole, started hitting more and more spots. Tons of crap kept coming up. I have never dethatched this yard. I've been at this house for 7 years, and I have a good feeling that the previous homeowner also did not dethatch. So that means most likely in the 30-something years of this yard being established, never been dethatched. So I'm going to do that today. So I just got back from the rental place, got the dethatcher. I wanted to try to work smart and not hard. I got one with a bagger. That way I don't have all that crap across this whole yard. That's going to be a mess to try to clean up. So hopefully I'll be able to operate this thing without doing too much damage. But we'll see how we get with that. I've got it for 4 hours, so I've got to get kicking on that. So my plan for this video and for the yard, I'm going to run this dethatcher, get it done as quick as I can. If I can get 2 passes done in 4 hours, I'm going to do that. With all the thatch and dead grass and whatever else I happen to pick up, I'm going to kind of pile it up right now. And ultimately I have a fire pit in the back. I'm just going to burn what I can. I've already put a bunch in compost. My compost bin is full, so I can't do anything else with that. So I'm just going to have to burn it and maybe throw some away, bag it, whatever. Just any way I can to get rid of it. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to go through, I have my own aerator. It's a pull behind Agrifab. That way I don't have to keep renting a core aerator every year. So this will be my 4th time using it. So it's pretty much paid itself off. Aerators run, I don't know, 80 bucks or whatever. So I've definitely you know, got my money's worth out of this aerator. And oh, what's up with the pink shirt? That right there. So huge shout out to RVA Lawn Love and Picture Perfect Lawn Maintenance. RVA had a giveaway a little while ago, and I won one of the shirts. So shout out to him and Picture Perfect for the awesome shirt. So I am going to rock the dethatching in a pink shirt today. All right, so I've got the knob turned all the way up, and it just did that. That ain't cool. So to engage this thing, you're supposed to flip this back down, so that raises it so it's not really engaging the tines into the ground. So let's adjust it, push the lever down before you turn the knob. I've got it turned all the way up and still grabbing, so I wonder if I just leave it like this so it's not going as deep. There's not much to this thing, so there's nothing really else to really do with it. Let's try that. So I guess leaving it up, still grabbing a hold of stuff. It's not ripping holes in the ground. So it's got a whole bag full already. So I want to leave that lever down so it stays up a little bit higher, and go with that. So I don't know why why on earth you would want to bring that lever down and where it essentially, I mean, that's digging into the ground, so that's not cool. So I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna start going around the whole yard. All right, well, this thing stalled out on me going around my cable box. Can't get it started again. I've let it sit in case it was flooded out or anything. This thing simply will not start. The rental place did say the last time it was rented out was almost exactly 1 year ago. So it hasn't ran since then. So it might have a bunch of gunk in there or something. I don't know. That's on them. I've kind of screwed around with this thing for about 45 minutes since it stalled out on it. Letting it sit, trying to adjust the choke, whatever. It ain't starting. So I gotta box this thing back up, send it back down there, and I guess get my money back. But unfortunately, that's the only dethatcher they have that has a bag. With the size yard I have, I feel if I just go through with a regular dethatcher and trying to go back through and rake all that up, that's going to kill me. So that's why I wanted one with a bag. So with that, I guess that means I can't dethatch now. So I'm just going to go through. I do want to get one last mow in, try to lower that height of cut a little bit. And then I'm going to go through and from there I will aerate, seed, and humic acid and all that good stuff, and go with that. So time to load it up. All right, so Friday was a huge bust. I rented a dethatcher, broke on me about 100 feet into use, couldn't get it running, had to take it back, and I guess with the heat setting in, ended up with a migraine. I was out for the count Friday. Saturday I was out doing a charity event, underwater scuba diving, dart tournament. So I was out most of the day for that. Didn't get to do anything Saturday. By the time I got home, extremely hot again. Wasn't going to try to get out here trying to do all this stuff and the heat. So I got up about 8 a.m. It's Sunday. I busted out the riding mower just so I can try to get the grass mowed really quick. I don't like using it. It mows really low, but I am lowering my height of cut, so I kind of went with it. Sharpened the blades because I haven't sharpened blades in forever. It's not a pretty cut, and it blows grass clippings everywhere when I get up onto the driveway and everything, but it's cut. All right, so going through, it's kind of difficult to hold on to the GoPro while I'm trying to do some of this, but I do have the aerator going. I've aerated the side yard. Unfortunately, I'm not getting very good plugs out of it. I'm only getting maybe an inch, and they're very dry. So if I can find one that actually doesn't crumble up on me. It's all bad. Yeah, they're not very good plugs at all coming up. I have tried watering a few days before so I can get some better plugs coming up. There we go. And that's about all I'm getting out, and it's very crumbly. It's dried up already. But typically I try to load this down pretty heavy. I usually have a couple sandbags that I put on that. They'll give me about 100 pounds, and I try to put a couple bricks on there as well. So I end up with about 120, 130 pounds worth of weight on the aerator. I don't have any sandbags this time, so I've got some, the blue bucket has a bag of salt. There's probably about a good 40 pounds or so in there. 3, 4, 5, about 5.5 bricks in there. So I've still got about a good 100, 125 in there maybe. Now this is actually my aerator. I don't rent it, I own this one. This is like my 3rd or 4th year that I've been using it. I paid 220 bucks or something for it. So instead of me renting an aerator every year for whatever it costs, 80 bucks or whatever, I have pretty much come out ahead on buying my own. Usually does pretty good as long as the ground is fairly well saturated. Right now, with as dry as the ground is, I'm not getting very much out of it. So what I may have to do, since I'm going to have to dethatch in the spring, since I couldn't get it done this weekend, I might go over it again in the spring and run another aeration over it before I do any sort of pre-emergent, so I could get that down. So I'm going to fire the mower back up, and I'm going to see what I can get over on this front yard. I'm ready to put that in humic acid. I ran into an issue. I let my humic acid sit in a bucket just in case it leaks. And yeah, it's leaking pretty good. So I'm gonna have to fix that. But so that means I'm gonna probably try to use up the rest of this humic acid. So I'm gonna put down quite a bit heavier rate than what I normally do. I usually only do 1 ounce per thousand. I'm gonna probably bump it up to maybe about 3 ounces per thousand. Try to use this up. And I've got another jug, so I'll anything that I do have left over, I'll just transfer over into that jug, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to get this mixed up and put it in my sprayer. I've got it on the charger right now. So once that's done, I'm going to let this kind of soak in and dry a little bit before I go out there with the starter fertilizer and seed. And that'll give time for wife needs to go to the grocery store and stuff. So I'll be able to relax a little bit while she's doing that. Humic acid will dry, and I'll get back to that. All right, time out. I just thought of something. I have some RGS left over, about 1.5 gallons. So while I'm at it, I've already got about 3 ounces per thousand of the of my humic acid, Terravita SP90. So since I got 1.5 gallons of RGS, I think I want to put some of that down too. 1.5 gallons, so I'll go about 3 ounces and put that down too. Might as well. Got the front yard sprayed, 4 gallons, 8,000 square foot, 1/2 gallon per 1,000 square foot, and had just enough. So as I was coming around the flower bed on the back side there, ran out. So had perfect amount, so I actually walked it out decent this time. So now I need to do same thing for the side yard. Has 5,000 square foot, so I need 2.5 gallons. I'll do the same thing, 3 ounces of each humic acid and RGS, and get that sprayed down. Alright, so I have the RGS and the humic acid sprayed down at 3 ounces per 1,000 square foot for each product. So I had a total of 6 ounces per 1,000 going down of total product. 1/2 gallon per 1,000. Got everything sprayed down precisely. I just ran out as I finished my last pass, so I actually am getting a little bit more acclimated to this Strom backpack sprayer the more I use it. But I feel a lot more comfortable with it now. As far as the backyard, so I went over it with the humic acid and the RGS. However, because there's so much stuff in the backyard, play set and the pool, and there's stepping stones going around the pool, I could not really get the mechanical aerator around everything very well. I hit what I could. So I decided to hit up the Aerate. I still had quite a bit of it left. So I made up a batch of that, threw in there with it, and then went over the whole backyard with the Aerate, the RGS, the humic acid all together. Kind of watered everything down a little bit. In the backyard, I haven't watered the front yard yet. I'll get to that after I do the fertilizer and the seed. But I want to kind of water down some of the dry spots out there that are just very bare. I want to try to water that down really well to loosen it up, because I want to take the garden weasel, kind of break that soil up a little bit more, so then when I put the seed down, I can take that garden weasel over it a little bit more and try to get that seed down in there, because these have been problematic areas. In the meantime, I'm going to let all this dry down a little bit. The wife took off to the grocery store. The kids are next door at the neighbors. I'm going to sit down a little bit and chill out some, cool off, and then I'll get back out to this here in a little bit. Right. Let's watch some videos.
Hello everyone, it's Matt Martin with the Grass Factory. Today I have some really important news about Carbon Earth Company, and we have new distributors, baby! So for those of you in the lawn care markets, you can actually go right now and be able to purchase our products through these new distributors. Woo! Excited to be working. First, we have the Ohio markets of Dayton, Cincinnati, Columbus of Green Velvet.
Wait. Cincinnati?
Ohio knows what
What is that?
Amazing company this is.
CINCINNATI.
The support we have gotten from
Come on!
people in Ohio has just been absolutely amazing. It's been so awesome.
So I get everything put down. I put a rate of 3 pounds per thousand down on the yard for the grass seed. Worked out pretty well. So what I did with this, the spreader settings, it's always kind of a toss-up, right? So I set it to 4.5 on my Scott's edge guard, and did a double pass. So I went 90-degree angle of each other. Worked pretty good. I ran out just as I was about out of seed. Now as far as the Xstart, this one was a little bit different. So Alan said to set your Scott's edge guard spreader to about 7. I tried that in the backyard, measured it out. So in theory, it should have been 3 pounds per thousand. So I should have needed 6 pounds for the backyard for my 2000. Got doing a trim pass and ran out pretty quick. So I bumped it down to about 5.5, and that seemed to do the trick. Finished the rest of the backyard with a setting of 5.5. For the rest of the starter fertilizer, went across on the side yard over here, and that worked out pretty well. So then I hit the front yard. I did run out a little bit premature, so I just put the rest of the bag in there and then used up the rest of that. So overall, it was roughly 3 to 4 pounds per thousand. So now I'm just kind of going through and getting it all watered in. So got the seed down. I went through and put the humic acid, the RGS down. In the backyard, I did have some Aerate left, so I put that down at the 9 ounces per thousand. To get that put down, the aerator, I just couldn't get around everything, so I put the Aerate down. Then after I got the starter fertilizer down, everything else was all down with it, started watering. That's about watered down. That's only 2,000 square foot, so it doesn't take a lot of finagling to move the sprinklers around to be able to get that watered down. Side yard is about watered in, so I'm going to try to see what I can do with trying to bring my other hose through the garage, and I'm going to try to bring both sprinklers out here. It's 718, and yeah, that is almost 25,000 steps today, and that's not even push mowing. I was riding mowing, so I am beat. My back hurts, my feet hurt. I'm dead. But I do want to try to get some watering in. They're calling 40% chance of rain tomorrow, so hopefully it'll rain, but I want to try to get something watered in, since there was RGS and Humic Acid and all this stuff. So I want to try to get that watered in really good. So I'm going to try to get this all done. Unfortunately, some of the stuff that I was doing, I either didn't record or just ran out of footage or whatever. Just trying to get it all done. It's 25,000 steps. I was busy, so trying to move a GoPro around while I'm trying to do everything doesn't always happen. I'm going to call it for this video, so I'll keep watering, and hopefully I'll get some decent progress here within the next probably 7 days. I should be able to look out there and start seeing some good germination come up. We'll see how it goes, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.